How you doing, you Hoops Nation? It's Kurt Forsyth coming to you from Florham Park. We just had our second game of the winter season and three packed games for the most part. Two a little bit more competitive, but you know, that's the way it goes sometimes. So the first game was Quiet Storm versus UNEO. If you remember UNEO last season, went to the finals. They had some injuries, so they were unable to kind of live up to their potential, but they came back this season. They had a few added people to their roster who proved to be some missing pieces that they may have needed since they lost some other pieces from last season. They played Quiet Storm, who had a pretty good season last year, but looking to kind of make things a little bit better. But anyway, to the game. So for the most part, it was a close game. The entire game, 4 or 5 points here and there. I mean, UNEO kind of followed in their footsteps from last season. They were hitting threes. Quiet Storm, had a strong inside presence. I mean, all in all, it came down to a 3-point game, and it was really decided by foul shots. So, to everybody wondering, do foul shots really count? They do. You got to try to make them all. They're free points. You just got to take them where they're there. Second game was disrespected. I mean, they were a little over their heads, but you got to come out and play hard. Doesn't matter who you're playing. I mean, they're playing the defending champs Monstars, and it really wasn't a close game from the get-go. I mean, in all positions, even with some pickups disrespected, they just really couldn't hang with Monstars, and it just almost became a highlight show. They had a couple of dunks here and there, but it all happens. You just got to work on your game, got to try to get better. As a free agent, you just got to make things happen. And last game of tonight was Rock Nation versus Hugs and Kisses, which, I mean, Rock Nation seems to be one of those teams that just always has a close game with certain teams, and tonight was no exception when they played Hugs and Kisses. As like I said last week, Jesse Steele's very difficult to guard, but Hugs and Kisses also added Jordan Marcus, who also is difficult to guard, but Hugs and Kisses really jumped all over Rock Nation in the beginning. It was kind of looking like the game was over, but I mean, to Rock Nation's credit, I mean, they really hung in there. They started to work together. They started, making some shots, grabbing some rebounds, getting defensive stops, all the little things that might not necessarily show up in the scorebooks, but they really make a difference. And I mean, they really climbed out of a hole to bring it to a close game, and it looked like they may have been able to pull it off for about a minute or two, but I think just fatigue got the best of them. I mean, it's difficult to climb out of a 20-plus hole, but they brought it down to about 6 or 7 points, and they still made a very respectable game. So, I mean, for the most part, 5 teams are really still in the hunt. I mean, every team is kind of scoring around the same amount of points. Defense is very similar across those top 5 teams. So it's turning out to be a very competitive season. And like I said last week, every single game is going to make that difference. So you always want to come out with your A game. Doesn't matter who you're playing. Sometimes you just need to work on chemistry. So keep looking around. You still got 2 more games. You can add to your roster. You can subtract from your roster if you wish. But you can still make some moves. So go out there, GMs, do your thing. But see you guys next week. Good luck to everybody.